One Piece isn't what it used to be. You're probably wondering, what is this guy talking about? Well, what One Piece has been for the past 11 years has drastically changed, and Egghead was our taste of what is to come. This is Ripe Surgeons, and I'm going to be discussing content from Punk Hazard all the way up to the end of Wano. That said, major spoiler warning. Let's get into it. "2012 was a huge year for One Piece, and we had no idea. With the start of Punk Hazard and the third arc in the New World, we certainly expected a lot. Unfortunately, a huge bunch of the audience underappreciated the arc by the time of its conclusion, but little did they know, the introduction of this guy and the inclusion of this guy would plunge us all into more than a major plotline for the next couple of arcs, but what One Piece would be for the next 9 years. To put that into perspective, I was 7 years old, still probably teething, when Punk Hazard started. Obama was president back then. But honestly, life before 2020 doesn't even seem real to me anymore. So, we meet Kinemon, a goofy samurai from the distant land of Wano, which, by the way, Punk Hazard is one of the first times we even hear about Wano. Anyway, his devil fruit can pretty much spawn any clothing on anybody. Who is he, why is he here, and what is he doing? We don't know, he's just a head. Wait, he's a butt too. Huh? Why is he all detached? Meet Law, the guy who did all that detaching. He probably looks familiar because he's that rookie from Sabaody, now a warlord of the sea using his op fruit to do evil and assist the child work of Caesar Clown. Okay, back to Kinemon. Turns out Kinemon has ended up on Punk Hazard looking for this little brat. Just kidding, I'm one of maybe 8 Momonosuke enjoyers on the planet. This dude ended up fleeing from Wano for some strange reason and is found by Luffy in a trash pit. Found in a frenzy after eating the artificial version of the fish fruit model Azure Dragon. Anyway, Punk Hazard happens and Luffy ends up making a deal with Law to take down one of the deadly 4 emperors of the sea, their target being Kaido the Beast. The Straw Hats also decide to take Kinemon and Momonosuke along for the ride since they're heading back to Wano, where Kaido is. Little did we all know, the trajectory of One Piece itself for the next extended period of time has just been set. Turns out, Luffy and Law also took Caesar Clown off Punk Hazard in shackles, planning to give him to Doflamingo in exchange for him to step down from his status as warlord, removing his immunity from the government. This awful man has taken over the kingdom of Dressrosa, a familiar situation, wink wink, which just so happens to be where Kinemon and Momonosuke's friend Kanjuro got stranded. Dressrosa then wraps itself up over the course of 4 real-life years, and Doflamingo has been taken down, angering Kaido, whose connection to Kinemon and Momonosuke we still do not know. After this massive victory, Law returns to the ever-moving island of Zo with the Straw Hats, where he regroups with his crew. The huge group then uncovers the identities of the island's rulers, Duke Dogstorm and Cat Viper, as associates of Kinemon's. These two have also been keeping the ninja, Raizo, hidden away in a huge tree. It is here we learn that Momonosuke was actually the heir to the throne of Wano, but everything was taken from him, and now we know where the next few arcs of One Piece will be going. To take down Kaido and retrieve his road poneglyph, and to learn more about the connections these people have to the land of Wano. Also, the whole road poneglyph thing has a lot to do with the One Piece. So that's very interesting for all the fans. Unfortunately, a gangster by the name of Gang Beji shows up and confronts Sanji without Luffy present, notifying him that he will be forced to marry the 76th child of the Charlotte family, which is terrible news for him. Sanji does decide to accept his fate, knowing that if he declines this marriage, it will put the rest of what he considers his family, the Straw Hats, in jeopardy. And he leaves for Totoland without much notification to Luffy. When his captain does find out, naturally he decides that before the trip to Wano, the crew will split up, some of which will go to encounter Big Mom, and some of which will head directly to Wano with Law. Now, this puts a big fork in the road and a delay in the Wano arc, but you'll see where this is going. So, Luffy and some of his crew, about half of it, head off to the land in which the Charlotte family resides, and take back Sanji by crashing his wedding and stealing Big Mom's road poneglyph while they're at it. This throws Lin Lin into a fit of rage, declaring war on the Straw Hats and beginning a trek of her own off to the land of Wano in their pursuit. Now, at this point, it is established what the One Piece narrative is, has been, and will be for a while at this point. We've slowly been following Law's grand goal of beating Kaido in Wano, and Kinemon's grand goal of returning Momonosuke there too. Whole Cake strays from the narrative a bit, but it's intentional and still adds to events in Wano, such as Kaido and Lin Lin's alliance. At last, we've reached Wano, where the story all culminates. The past 11 years have been building up to this point, and we have a lot to cover. First off, with Momonosuke having returned to Wano, those who knew him and his father are revealed and are identified as the Akazaya 9, or the Akazaya Samurai, or the Retainers of Odin. These 9 retainers include characters we've already known about, such as Kinemon, Kanjuro, Raizo, Cat Viper, and Dogstorm. Odin, Momonosuke's father, greatly impacted the land of Wano as he was to be the shogun before his influence was thwarted in his absence. Odin having been killed by Kaido, Momonosuke and Odin's retainers were forced to flee 20 years into the future to seek out some other hope in defeating the man who stole everything from them. And it is in the Wano arc where this storyline comes to an end, Luffy defeating Kaido and restoring order to Wano and all. As just mentioned, Kaido, along with Big Mom, is defeated, which brings Law's narrative, in the context of this video, at least, to an end. Obviously, Law's character is nowhere near its conclusion, but his tight alliance with the Straw Hats certainly is. So where is One Piece going now? We all can easily make post-Egghead predictions, but think about it. When was the last time we had the road of where One Piece is leading clearly cut out for us? Pre-Wano. It has been 11 whole years since the last time we knew exactly where One Piece was going. Egghead was our sample of what is to come. No one really knew what the goal for the end of Egghead would be, and no one knows how Elbaf will turn out either. The same simply cannot be said for the likes of arcs such as Whole Cake or Wano. For many new viewers, including myself, One Piece truly will not be the same in terms of predictability, which thankfully gives Oda tons of room for glorious improvisation. This has been N with Ripe Sturgeons, and if you enjoyed listening to my latest brainless One Piece rant, how about subscribing?